Thought influences athletic performance. This is a fact demonstrated every day in games and competitions. If the mind is invaded by negative thoughts, sports results will follow along the same lines, and consequently, the athlete will not achieve positive results. This is why high performance athletes would do well to gain control of what they think about, to make their minds work in their favor. The thinking of high performing athletes cannot be limited to keeping negative thoughts at bay. Their thoughts must be productive in and of themselves, and their thinking must be trained in order to be consistent and effective. Control of thoughts is a variable that is and should be practiced just as a physical skill. A negative thought can cause athletes, no matter how well trained and skillful they are, to lose their attentional focus on the game and make mistakes that could impair their performance. We will talk about a strategy that can be implemented and which has very positive effects on performance. Hey guys, this is Yasser from ITA Sports, and today's video is actually very different. We're going to focus on the mental strategies that you can use. One in particular, which we're going to discuss further on, to enhance your performance and make you a better athlete. Now, obviously, the physical component that I keep talking about is very important, but what you do and how you control your brain and your thoughts can also have a major impact on your performance. Now, before we go and talk about the strategy, let's discuss a very important topic through which we're going to derive how that can help you. Beck's cognitive theory. Now, Beck's theory is based on explanation of and treatment for depression, but its basic principles perfectly apply to sports, especially the negative cognitive triad. Let me explain this one. Attitudes and beliefs that cause the athlete to perceive everything around them and the future themselves in a negative light, which can lead to injuries, continual negative results, or a lack of motivation, and cognitive distortions, information processing errors that are also frequently found in athletes. Now, here are some examples of cognitive distortion. The first one, arbitrary inferences, random assumption. So you're reaching conclusions without supporting evidence or that contradict results. For example, we are going to lose today. They are the third ranked team in the league. So you're not putting anything on your skill. It's just a conclusion you've come up to which is random. Selective abstraction, basing a conclusion on isolated details or on something specific that has been taken out of context. For example, I'm sure to be injured today. We did not have enough time to train in hot weather or extreme cold before this. Third one, overgeneralization, reaching a conclusion based on isolated facts. Example, after a series of bad serves in tennis, my first serve will never be effective. So just because of an error that you made, you base everything off of that in the future. So you've generalized it. Overgeneralized it. Fourth, magnification or minimization, making a mistake when assessing an event, exaggerating or minimizing its consequences. For example, you've been thinking that you've missed the penalty shot, now you'll never be selected in the starting 11. So you basically think that you're going to lose your position based on that specific event. So you've magnified whatever you've done. Personalization and self-reference, self-centered interpretations of events attributable to no one, and willingness to attribute external events to yourself. So for example, today is a great day for the match. The weather is working in my favor. So something that is not even in your control, you're trying to derive it on yourself. And the sixth one is the funny one, which always makes me laugh. Superstitious thinking and catastrophic outlooks. So creating a cause and effect relationship between events that are not contingent upon one another. Example, I didn't bring my socks today. They're my lucky socks. I never lose when I wear them. So, that. Another point to emphasize on, which is not included in the Beck's model, is that of polarized thinking. In this case, reality is seen in two possibilities. Everything is either right or everything is either wrong. The construction of thoughts oscillates between these two, and anything in the middle is never perceived. So this makes you have heightened expectations, and when it doesn't happen, it negatively affects psychological variables such as stress, anxiety. This doesn't only happen in sport, it happens in real life. So you can take this, apply it in your real life, and see whether you fall in this category. I'm guilty of doing that at times. We now come to the strategy we spoke about at the start of this video, that when implemented can have very positive effects on the issues. Authors such as Zinser, Bunker, Williams explain how athletes from different disciplines recognize that they delivered better performance when they did not register thoughts in their minds. That is, they had cognitive control of their thoughts. In their study, they discuss the importance of self-talk. That's the strategy we're going to speak about. So now let's analyze some applications of control of thoughts through self-talk. So the first one is acquisition of skills and abilities. So for example, for proper execution of a tennis serve, athletes can relieve any tension they experience by saying stop. So slightly loud enough for you to hear it, to put aside any doubts that you might have, and then breathe to focus on the execution of the serve and not its result. So focus on the task and not the consequence of the task. You can find many scenarios in different sports. So for example, a penalty kick in football, a free throw in basketball, a serve in volleyball. Second one, changing bad habits. So after a mistake, athletes that tend to get caught up in regret can use a keyword to control their thoughts and say to themselves, move on, recover, it's okay. So you make an error, it's okay. It does not define the player. It's just an event that happened. You're a human, you make mistakes, you move on. Do not be harsh on yourself. Self-talk. Find those words that can help you. Controlling attention. For example, after having identified disruptive thoughts that do not help them focus on the task, athletes can count to 3 and then narrate the actions that they need to do or that they're going to perform next. So you can inhale, exhale 3 times mindfully. You can focus on the scoreboard. If you're playing basketball, you can see the scoreboard. It will bring you back into the present. Also, in a football scenario, you can play it in your head. Receive the ball, look at my teammate, and make a good pass. So these are all things that can bring you back in the present if you see your mind wandering and you're getting disruptive thoughts. Fourth one, generating or altering feeling of mood. So you have to say to yourself, I'm good, I'm okay, I'm amazing. It is very important to keep yourself in a good mood so that you can do better on the field or whatever sport you play. Fifth one, controlling effort. Athletes can talk to themselves and tell themselves in accordance with their level of activity. So for example, calm down. You can talk to yourself, calm down. All right, I need to push a bit more. If you see that, oh, I'm pushing too much. All right, okay, take it easy now, relax. So say these words to yourself. This is all part of self-talk. Building self-efficacy and self-confidence. For example, when you're facing a disheartening situation or feeling of helplessness, you can choose words that energize and motivate. I've gotten out of very worse situations. If you're losing 3-0 and you still have a second half to go in football, or if you're down by, let's say, 20 points and you're in the final quarter, I know how to do this. Let's go for it. This is nothing. We've done it in the past, we can do it again. So, for your confidence. Last one, increasing adherence to and maintenance of positive behaviors with regards to exercise. So you can say to yourself, although this exercise was difficult for me to do, after completing it, I will feel great. Now, self-talk techniques are cognitive strategies aimed at the ability to control disruptive behavior. So self-talk is also defined as an internal dialogue through which an individual interprets feelings and perceptions. This dialogue also regulates and changes evaluations and beliefs, thus fostering instructions and reinforcement. It is believed that once the number of disruptive thoughts are reduced through consistent utilization of self-talk, we will see improvement in terms of concentration and performance. This is confirmed by authors. Athletes are permanently engaged in subconscious internal dialogue with themselves. The aim is for athletes to develop this ability in a consistent way so they can direct their thoughts. So there you have it, guys. Self-talk can be a very useful tool for you to be better on the field and in life in general. You are your harshest critic, so be nice to yourself. The world anyway will be pretty harsh on you, so you don't want yourself to be that harsh. Keep yourself in check does not mean that you don't discipline yourself. Keep yourself in check, but use better words. Use self-talk, and it is one tool I tell all my athletes to really imbibe and learn from and apply in sport. And it has happened in my personal experience that I've seen athletes benefit from it so much. My aim is to give you tools to become a better athlete. Now, this does not mean by through strength exercises or through nutritional information or hydration information. It's a holistic approach to performance. Mindset training is very important. So if you find this video helpful, please like it, share it to whoever you think can benefit from it. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And as always, I'll see you next time.